How are you, Sheldon?
Better than at Brenna, though we've quite a rumble ahead of us. But I promise you this, we'll kick Henselt's arse and send him scurrying back to Kedwin.
Zoltan says your company are true arm wrestling masters.
Unbeatable, last I recall.
Is that so? Care to check if that's still true?
Sounds good. Ready to take me on?
Give me your best shot.
You one strong son of a bitch!
Thanks.
You should take on Scalen. He beat me and Yarpen, and now beats his chest over it. The old company being a dead if you thrashed him.
Jealous bunch, aren't you?
Witcher,
What is it?
you were looking for the sorceress Philippa. I found her. She's now back home.
Thanks.
You wanted to discuss something?
I've got Triss's bandana.
Have you learned anything?
Triss was here. Letho forced her to teleport.
Why would he? There are easier ways to travel.
Two of Letho's comrades, probably those responsible for Demoven's death, were hiding among the Scoia'tael. When it became evident in Flotsam that the Kingslayer wanted to dispose of Yorvith, the Scoia'tael leader gave the order to eliminate them. Letho had to reach the unit before the Elven messengers did. He could only do that by teleporting.
I assumed that Triss wanted to teleport to me, but she missed the mark and they ended up in the gullies. What happened next?
Letho left her in a gully, wounded. He probably thought that she'd diversify the local trolls' diet. He himself went to see the elves and massacred the unit with his comrades. They're somewhere on the other side of the fog.
What about Triss?
She escaped from the troll. Everything suggests she's somewhere in the area.
I can assure you she is not in Vergen.
She has to be here. Locate her.
I'll try, but it will take some time. Have you learned anything else?
Sheila ordered Letho and Triss killed.
I can't believe that.
Believe it. I ran into some mercenaries she enlisted to kill Letho and anyone found with him.
She must have meant the other Kingslayers. Are you sure she knew Triss was with him?
Are you so sure of Sheila? There was something going on between her and Triss. I sensed a lot of tension.
A misunderstanding.
Maybe. Let's find Triss and clear everything up.
I need some time. What's going on out there?
Let's see.
What's going on?
The peasants want to take pitchforks to King Demoven's son.
Why?
The Dragonslayer's servant is spreading rumors that Stennis poisoned Saskia. The commoners are in an uproar. They want to dispense justice.
Where's the prince?
Barricaded himself in his room, guarded by nobles. For the moment, the peasants are still respectful, but they are feverish. A fight is inevitable. Help us out. The situation is dire. I'm going to inform the other nobles.
Dogs growl at cats. Cats hiss at the dogs. A noble's a wolf to a peasant.
Forget those animalistic similes and take care of it. I'll try to locate Triss. And should anything happen to Prince Stennis, remember, we need his blood.
I remember.
fell unconscious.
The commoners claim it's our
Sirs
prince.
and lords will
Geralt! It's good to see you.
The commoners claim Stennis is involved in Saskia's poisoning. They're looking to slaughter him.
What's stopping them?
The knights, Adernian noble lords.
Not easy to raise a hand against a blue blood.
A peasant by the name of Calton was at the council. He didn't seem to respect anything or anyone.
Calton's a blackguard. He'll use any excuse to raid and plunder.
He has a taste for noble blood. They say he buries gold looted from the lords in some gorge. Looks like things are getting nasty.
Hear me! What do you want? I'm Scalan Baldon. I keep order in Vergen.
Are doing a nice job then? Where was you when they poisoned Saskia?
Give us the prince! Get the flails! Stop! Yorvith. Squirrels! Everyone who wants to leave this yard in one piece, keep your hands off your weapons. I don't care if you're a serf or a lord. I'll kill you all if need be.
What's going on?
The servant carrying wine during the feast said that Prince Stennis and Olcan poisoned Saskia. We want justice!
You want revenge. It's not the same thing.
We don't care. Saskia's fallen as if dead, while the poisoning prince and noble lords rush to herd us onto the field and sell us to Henselt. We won't let them!
You lie, Colton. Nobody's being sold out. The poisoner must be caught and tried by law.
Your law? What then? He'll pay a fine and get spanked on his ass? We'll spank him all right, with an axe to the throat!
Where's this servant?
Safe. The Scoia'tael keep an eye on him.
Why is the prince hiding in his house if he's innocent?
Enough! I'll shoot the first to reach for a weapon. Then heads will start falling.
There's more of us. You can't kill every...
Then you'll be first. Now back off! We need to act quickly.
What's your plan?
I'll frighten them a little. Bleed them if need be. I'll buy you some time, but be swift. I can't hold them off for long. Question the peasants and the nobles, and talk to the dwarves. Maybe you can get to meet Stennis.
Even if he's guilty, I'm sure he's prepared a suitable story.
You'll know how to sort the sheep from the goats. Also, find the servant who started talking so suddenly. You won't have time to talk to everyone, though, that's for sure.
Humans only care how their asses rise as their stations do.
Say, Witcher, come over here.
Why is he lingering about? Like the stench in a dwarven hovel?
Those witchers be craving gold. This one's sure to say the prince is innocent, then sting Stennis for a pouch.
He better search for a lad who served the Virgin instead of pissing around.
Yeah, once done with the prince, he'd better take care of the magnets. Throwing their weight about too much they are.
You know Saskia's servant?
Willie of the Oblates. He handled the wine, indeed, but loves the Virgin like a sister and mother put together.
He'd gladly get quartered for her.
Where's this Willie of yours?
Hiding in his shack, afraid of them lords. Squirrels guard him.
The prince stood right next to Saskia during the council. Did he have access to the wine cellar beforehand?
How should I know?
Why flap your mouth then?
The prince is a wealthy lord. Bribing a skivvy to poison the wine is nothing to him.
Just because someone can afford gold teeth doesn't mean they'll pull their healthy ones. What's it really all about? Who's backing you?
We want justice.
We don't need no one backing us. We knows what to do.
How would you punish the prince?
If a lad counts hens wrong, he'll be flogged. What should we then do with a man poisoning others?
Kill him.
A land without a ruler is a nightmare.
We have a ruler, the Virgin of Eden.
It's not certain she'll live.
Then we'll choose another who'll manage, but he must be one of us lads. That way he'll understand us.
And all people is gonna be equal, our way.
And the non-humans?
We have enough dung on the fields. Let non-humans find a non-human land.
Away with them!
Farewell.
Give us this horse.
What would the prince gain with the...
Yeah.
Farewell.
I can tell you what he lost with her life.
And you see what
Say,
they did to
Witcher,
her?
come over here.
As I see it, every princeling likes to scheme.
Guilt must
Say.
be proven.
What do you want?
We of noble birth always had to protect the plebs from their own stupidity. If not for us, the world...
I don't have time to listen to songs praising the nobility. Know anything about the attempt on Saskia's life?
No, I don't. But whatever the truth, the mob cannot lynch one of royal blood.
So truth means nothing to you. That's what makes us different.
I didn't say I don't care about truth. Just keep in mind there's a world order that mustn't be destroyed.
An order that allows injustice.
If the prince turns out to be involved in this attempted murder, he should face a tribunal. The rabble doesn't understand the principles ruling the world.
Or they do understand them and simply don't like them.
Saskia is a wise woman, but there's one thing she doesn't take into consideration. This war will be over one day. Who will sow the crops and milk the cows then? Saskia called the serfs to arms. Do you think they'll want to plough fields again?
You may be right, but it's certainly not my business who'll plough your fields. Farewell.
Give us this whoreflower!
Rolling dung, you surly dog!
You would change your tone when we put a sickle to your throat.
I'd gladly hear your opinion on the situation.
Finally, someone reasonable. It's obvious Henselt bribed some serf who then did what he was told.
Henselt couldn't possibly reach Vergen.
Doesn't he have sorcerers at his court? Or perhaps he hired a witcher to break through. There's no other explanation.
That's interesting.
Just think it through. The prince couldn't have done it. The wine was in plain sight. Only the servants touched the decanters, and who are they? Commoners. Then that same commoner incited his folk to stand against the nobles and the prince.
Something to think about.
Save your threats for your hog-smelling woman.
Serfs and lords will never be on the same side.
Above their station.
Humans only care how their asses rise as
Things look bad. The peasants are furious. They finally have a chance to strike back for all the wrongs.
The noblemen won't yield.
They're a cowardly lot.
They know their heads will follow Stennis's.
It's a deadlock, with the prince's guilt still to be proven.
Yarpen says it's someone from Edern. Sheldon, on the other hand, would shave his beard if it's not Hensel's spies.
Anyone reached the prince in his chamber?
Not even close. The nobles guard him like a matron does her ward's hiney.
If the rabble slaughters the prince, there'll be no stopping them. They'll start doing things their own nasty way.
That's why the nobles will support the prince, even if they believe he's guilty.
I'm sure Stennis's hands are dirtier than a peasant girl's fucked in a barn.
Why would Sheldon suspect Henselt?
He'd sooner reach an agreement with Stennis than Saskia. Her death would be very convenient.
Zoltan?
I'm wondering how anyone could manage to poison the wine. Saskia's a quick-witted lass. She doesn't let just anyone near. Someone she knew must have done it.
Has Yarpen got any evidence?
No, Yarpen's an old cook and says he's got a feeling. Ploughing soothsayer.
He might be right with those feelings. After all, not just anyone can pass through the Wraith's mist. It has to be someone local.
So it never crossed your mind that Henselt might have sent someone here before those ghosts appeared?
Give us this whoreflower!
hands.
Rolling dung, you surly dog!
The entire amount of Kedwin
Save your threats for your hogs.
I want to speak with the prince.
You're unique then. Everyone else wants to tear him limb from limb.
We won't let you in.
Only I can help your prince.
Of course. Why didn't I think of that?
Are you mad?
Silence! I'm in command here, and I grant the Witcher leave to enter.
Please, Master. Are you here to kill me, Monster Slayer?
I'm here for your help. You can save Saskia.
Do you hear them? They want my head. They equate the words of some village idiot with mine. I am the heir to the Edirnian throne, the rightful ruler of this land, descendant of Demavend and Verferil.
Prince, if you help me heal Saskia, the people will forget.
If I don't help you, they'll kill me. This is blackmail.
This is a deal.
What do you want?
I need royal blood for a potion that will heal Saskia.
Do you mock me?
You owe Saskia your life. She carried you away from the Wraith's battle.
It was her duty, as it would have been of any Edirnian. Besides, my realm is falling apart, and she is responsible. Saskia and her rebels routed the royal forces at Gillette and on the banks of the Dyffny. For practical purposes, the Edirnian army no longer exists.
Those rebels are the last hope you have of stopping Henselt.
And what then? A pig herd will be crowned and appoint a shoeshine his Secretary of State.
Don't think that far ahead. Your Highness, just a few drops of your blood will cure Saskia. Vergen can defend itself only if she's in command.
I've already said I owe this girl nothing. I'll not yield to blackmail even if it costs me my life. I'll go to the axe, my head held high, and I'll certainly not surrender even a drop of royal blood to save a peasant girl.
Did you poison her?
Of course not. Even if I had, do you think I would boast about it? Don't be a fool.
I'm trying to help. Not only Saskia, but you, Your Highness.
I won't yield to that rabble. Never. One smear is all they needed to lay siege to my doorstep. Do you really think I should plead my innocence every time some village idiot says the prince did it? Or maybe go out there and beg them for mercy? Never!
You merely need to convince them that you're innocent. Prove it wasn't you and they'll walk away.
And if I am innocent, yet lack proof thereof? You claim you wish to help me. Do so. Convince the people to believe me. You'll not regret it.
You're trying to bribe me.
I want only to make a contract. Think about it.
What is it, sire?
Show the Witcher out.
Is everything in order, sire?
We had a chat, but we are through. Think on what I told you, Geralt.
I will.
Enough of this charade! Try to be reasonable, folks! Sit down and talk in peace! We've talked enough! Come on, lads, let's drag the prince from his hovel!
Vergen's not a cesspit for anyone to shit in. There are laws to abide, and Scalen Burden's job is to uphold them.
There's no law allowing a serf to threaten a king's scion. I, Silgrat, brother of Seltkirk, the greatest knight to walk Edirnian land, say so.
Does it matter who was born in a castle and who in a pigsty? Any fool can prejudge and condemn. It's easier to accuse than to prove guilt.
A peasant servant claims that Prince Stennis supposedly attempted to kill Saskia. Why would the prince do such a dastardly deed? Bear in mind how eminent is his lineage.
That's why! The mongrel covets the crown!
Do you even remember how valorous he was towards Saskia during the negotiations with Henselt?
Pretending to be with her, he was, sly fox. Taking the simple peasants in. But us lads ain't so dumb as you lords think.
See for yourselves how the commoners hate the prince, spitting venom like adders. They hatched a plot to dispose of him.
Saskia's servant said that...
Where is this servant, might I ask? If he's got something to say, why does he hide like a thief? The answer is simple. He's a fraud.
He's hiding to save his skin from you, whoresons. Squirrels have to guard him.
One last question. How could the prince poison Saskia? It's a known fact that servants taste wine from the barrels before the virgin sips it.
A good point. We can't be sure if the prince poisoned the wine.
Stennis is blowing hot and cold. Everyone knows that.
You were supposed to prove his guilt, not insult him, yokel.
Tell us who else would do it. A peasant wanting to hurt the miss? Never. It's cause of her you noble dogs can't ignore us. A pig won't cut its own throat. A peasant's not foolish enough to raise his hand against his savior.
Perhaps it is no peasant's deed. However, that doesn't mean the prince is guilty, fool.
Answer me this. Was not Stennis' room next to Saskia's? Do not the wines come from his own lice-ridden cellar? Can he not enter the Virgin's kitchen at will? Yes! His serene Damed the prince can, curses on his kin. Nobody in Vergen wants to kill Saskia. And even if they want it, nobody but Stennis could do it.
Those are just words. Too much guesswork and not enough evidence. You can't convict anyone based on that.
Your Highness, this is dangerous.
I am not afraid. Fear is a commoner's trait, unfit for one with royal blood running in his veins. What do you want, to judge me? Is a prince a common thief who steals a dozen eggs at the market? You stand before royal majesty, and you raise your hands against it. In this world there are crimes that can be forgiven, and crimes that, by any means, cannot. Just as a mother killing her own child, or a man slitting his own brother's throat cannot be forgiven. A crime against one anointed by the gods themselves also cannot be condoned. He who raises hand against divine right is not worthy to walk this world.
And what about he who poisons the Virgin of Eden?
Firstly, Saskia is alive, so no one can blame me for her death. Secondly, you have no proof that it was I who tried to murder her. And thirdly, I assure all gathered here, I won't rise above the law. However, only she, the Virgin of Eden, can judge me.
Can it? And if Saskia won't get well, who's gonna judge you?
I believe she can be cured. But if the gods decide otherwise, we'll summon a coven of the wise who can pass just sentence.
Those are words worthy of a true sovereign.
I am the one you should look to for guidance. Let my deeds be the flame that lights up your darkness.
So you've forgotten how you tried to bribe me when I was at your house?
How about that, snout face?
This is slander.
There are no witnesses, Witcher.
The prince has a right to a fair trial, no matter if he's guilty or not. We can't deny him that. What will the peasants do if we hand them the prince? Will they hear him out? No. They'll hang him from the nearest tree or tear him limb from limb. What will happen if we allow a lynching? What if people see that might makes right? Who'll guarantee they won't desire to avenge their wrongs, real and imagined? Who'll protect people whose only fault is noble birth from the exasperated mob? And where will it lead?
The peasants are furious.
They didn't dare mount a frontal attack.
But they haven't forgotten about Stennis, and won't. It'll be that way until Saskia regains consciousness.
She won't keep order by strength alone.
Unless it's a great strength.
We need an authority figure, and royal blood.
5 courts go to waste in the Dwarven dungeon at the moment.
There's also Henselt.
Going into that haunted mist is madness. Stealing Stennis away would be easier.
No. Anything involving Stennis will cause a riot.
I've had enough of the peasants and nobles barking. Saskia's the best leader I know, but she can't hope to defeat Henselt's army with this rabble, which is why I'm going to get reinforcements.
Where?
4 Scoia'tael units await in hiding to the east. Time to summon them.
You'll make it in time?
I must.
Good thing you're here, Geralt. A rhyme for wonder?
I'm no poet.
I know, but you have good ideas sometimes.
Yonder?
Good!
Writing a sonnet for your new muse?
Better than that. I'm composing an anthem for Vergen. Want to hear the first version?
No.
Listen. May those who dream of freedom arise, seeing the sight of liberty with their eyes. Let us go together, become our brother. The choice is yours, you know there's no other. How far shall we venture in this great wonder? Elf, dwarf, and human set forth together yonder. Like it?
It rhymes, kind of.
All right then, tell me what you discovered.
One thing's for sure. Letho's not on this side of the fog.
If you wanted to pursue the assassin, you should have gone to Henselt's camp with Roach.
Just because I went after Triss doesn't mean I've forgotten about Letho.
Why do you care so much? It's not your coop or your chickens.
My reputation's a little more important than hens in a coop. Until I find Letho, I'll be considered a murderer.
No one thinks you're a Kingslayer here.
You're dead wrong. They treat me well because they need me. That could change in an instant.
You're probably right. Let's say you catch him. What then?
I'll decide once I've heard him out, learned the truth. Maybe I'll see his point, or maybe I'll just cut off his head. Is it my imagination, or have you become a propaganda mouthpiece for the court?
You know what I really like about this place? There is no court. People are with Saskia because they want to be, not because they have to or should be.
You have a tendency to go from one extreme to the other.
And you have a tendency to shit on every ideal, even the most noble.
I try to take an objective view of the world.
Yet you've joined us. You have, haven't you?
I'm on Vergen's side, at this time.
Don't want to commit, eh? Well, Vergen isn't some whore you can just screw and forget.
You're right. Once you're on a teetering bridge, you might as well cross it.
Finally, spoken like a man. Oh, sorry, that was racist. Wise words, Witcher.
Yorvith seems to have changed.
Everyone changes here. Except you, of course.
I'm not sure I like changes of that kind. I find them hard to believe.
I believed in Yorvith, until he hauled his ass out of here under some dubious pretext.
We need reinforcements.
You think he'll be back?
Time will tell.
That much I know. I'm asking for your opinion.
I'm no soothsayer.
I love our conversations. They can be so enlightening.
My memories and feelings seem inextricably linked. I seem to be recovering both. I believe Yennefer's alive, and I'll eventually find her.
Triss, Yennefer, that's some life you lead, my friend.
First off, we have no idea if Yennefer's still alive. Second, we have no idea if Triss is alive.
True. You seem to have two women, when in fact, you don't even have one.
Their kind doesn't die easily. I believe I'll find Triss, alive.
And Yennefer?
I won't know what to do about her until I see her. My memory's coming back. It's just bits and pieces so far, but I can feel them coming together, forming a whole.
What have you remembered?
A voyage, an endless trek south. I was following Yennefer and the wild hunt. I have no idea how long. It got cold. Only old people were left in the villages I passed through, but they all refused to tell me what had happened to the young, to their children. I finally pressed a man for information. He blamed it on wolf packs, on an outburst of drowners and rot fiends. No one mentioned the wild hunt.
Did you catch up to the hunt?
I don't know.
Got anything you can follow?
I'm looking. You once mentioned some elven poems about the hunt.
I believe I said they could exist, and they'd be old. I don't know any, but look around. You're pretty good at finding things.
Geralt, first throat of the Witcher's Guild. Finally, a drink with someone worth talking to.
Short on company?
What can Yarpin tell me? I prefer listening to horses fart.
I wanted to talk to you about the Free State of Vergen. We haven't had the occasion somehow.
True.
Do you buy into Saskia's ideals?
Are you asking me if I believe what she says, or if I believe she'll be successful?
Both.
Saskia's no liar, that's a fact. But whether we'll manage, who can tell? One thing is sure, we'll never know if we never try. For now, a great battle awaits. A battle in which elf, dwarf, and human will stand side by side. And that is beautiful in itself.
It's also the biggest potential weakness.
Nothing unites folk like shared death. I believe those who survive will honor the deaths of their comrades.
If they win.
Even if they don't. News spreads fast. Others will follow in our footsteps.
The Kingslayer's trail has gone cold. Have you heard anything?
No one could sneak into Vergen. We watch day and night. Anyway, who would they come for here? Stennis? Why so keen on capturing the assassin of kings?
Because I'm innocent.
The wise among us know that, and I wouldn't listen to the fools.
I can only prove my innocence by dragging in the real culprit. No other way.
I tried locating Triss, but the mist disrupts the megascope. There's a weak signal nearby, probably on the other side.
In the Kedweni camp?
You'll have to pass through the mist.
There's no time to lose.
I'm continuously scanning the battlefield. I'll show you the way through. I'll find you when you enter the mist.
Farewell, then.
We still need royal blood.
I know. Henselt.
We need his blood, not his death.
How many times do I have to tell you I'm not a Kingslayer?